Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Friday, the 7th of November, 2025. If you're wondering why my hair is kind of messed up tonight, it's because tonight's Friday Night Fights was incredibly stressful. I'll tell you why in a second. Overall, today was an exceptionally good streaming day, and to be honest, I think this was a great week. I really did have a great week with everyone. I hope that you all enjoyed this first week of November with me. Let's talk about how today went. So we started off with a fun level 1 podcast with two big discussions. Number one, just giving everyone kind of a status update on everything that I'm doing currently with all the current playthroughs. But number two, also the big story that GTA 6, that's right, Grand Theft Auto 6 had been delayed from May of 2026 until the fall. And I had a big segment of my show discussing, number one, how this will have big implications for the gaming landscape for other games coming out during that time period, etc. But number two, the story behind it, because there are very strong rumors that this is all about unionizing, union busting, Rockstar firing people who were trying to form a union, and it's pretty bad stuff, to be honest. So if you want to hear all of that, check out the podcast from this morning. Big segment of it was about that, and it was very interesting. Okay. Then we started with Pokemon Legends ZA. Great stream today where we recruited 2 to 3 new alpha Pokemon. We actually did multiple new Mega Evolutions. We did, we were going to do another not boss fight, but ranking fight, but we couldn't because the game put us on a wild goose chase, going all around the map trying to find this missing sister of the person who you're trying to do the ranking fight against. Seems like a pretty big time waster, but it was necessary in order to advance the plot. We actually went to a new region or two that I didn't realize I had skipped in the wild areas and caught a whole bunch of new Pokemon. And on top of all of that, tons of people came by to chill. Wasn't, super high attendance stream, but the people that are there are very engaged and very supportive. Ladies and gentlemen, we raised not one, but 2 support goals during today's Pokemon stream. Amazing. That's all for Pokemon. We're hitting 2 support goals. That's sick. Okay. So thank you to anyone who was there and supported that stream. Absolutely great. I hope you guys are still following along the playthrough. At this point, we're more than halfway through, but I just don't know how much longer we have left because I don't spoil myself on the plot. But it was great. Absolutely great stream. Okay. Tonight's late stream was Friday Night Fights, and we were doing the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, and I laid it out to everyone. Listen, I'll play whatever you want. Do you want more Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero? Do you want to try this other weird game, Special Forces spinoff? Do you want me to go play some of the handheld games? No, people basically were saying, why don't you try that WaveNet version of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3? See what that's all about, all right? So a couple things. The game is slightly tweaked from the standard arcade edition, a little bit of difference with combos and the abilities of the characters. There is a playable Noob Saibot in the game, although you have to enter a secret code to get him. So I thought he was going to be on the select screen and he wasn't. So I didn't get to play as him. I wanted to, but I didn't know it was going to be some weird special select thing to get him. But sadly, if you can believe it, this version of the game actually controls even worse than both the arcade edition of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and Mortal Kombat Trilogy. This version of the game is the worst. It drops the most inputs. It has the most input delay. It's just atrocious. And the problem is it has the same busted AI as Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 and Mortal Kombat Trilogy. So imagine you're trying to face insurmountable odds and defeat every enemy that's reading your inputs and cheating while half of your moves don't come out. In fact, just listen to this. I started with Sub-Zero, or 2 different Sub-Zeros. At one point, I said, I'll try Reptile. So I went to Reptile. I realized, I like Reptile. He's the character. He has a juggle combo. That's a standard, dial-a combo, but then you can do additional hits after the air juggle. He's pretty good in this one. So we got pretty far in the first hour. Near the end of the first hour, we were at the second endurance round, which is the one where you have to kill 3 people at once. Oh my God, is it hard, okay? But I actually got it done. Second hour, I steamrolled Motaro, beat him in 2 runs. Then we got to Shao Kahn. This game is horribly broken. The WaveNet edition of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 in this collection is horribly broken. The Shao Kahn boss fight is completely glitched. Number one, both of the acid ball special moves that Reptile does, he goes like this and a big acid ball floats forward, don't work in the fight at all. They just don't come out. He'll just punch like this. It will never come out. It's a glitch. Then he fucked it up. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I've never played a fighting game where I went to fight a boss and half my special moves are disabled. I don't even know how to explain it. It's glitched. In addition, the game all of a sudden starts to drop half my inputs. So the combo with Reptile, which is his best combo, it's while you're standing next to an opponent, high punch, then you put your joystick, go to down, low punch, high punch. So it's literally bump, 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 bump. Super easy. That combo would only come out about 50% of the time. I wish that that was an exaggeration. It would just start dropping inputs right in the middle of 4 hits. That's how bad this game is. That's how bad this version is. I do not recommend anyone play the WaveNet version of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 in this collection. It is like someone is walking up to you and says, hey, and then just starts speed bagging your testicle sack. That's what it feels like. What is going on? I just got to Shao Kahn. Why can't I get any moves to come out when I'm fighting Shao Kahn? It took me almost an hour to defeat Shao Kahn. It was that bad. So you got 2 videos tonight coming of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 WaveNet. They're very similar to regular Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, but I use different characters. You'll get to see a little bit of Sub-Zero and a lot of Reptile, so you'll see a different character. That's good. But there is a lot of stress and a lot of cheating and a lot of just dropped inputs and nonsense at the end. It's incredibly frustrating. I even told my chat at the end, I said, guys, I'm not going to be playing this offline again. If the game gets an online patch like they're claiming they're going to give it, I'll play it again. But there's no reason for me to torture myself playing this offline again. It's too stressful. When the game literally doesn't give you your moves, you can't win. It shouldn't take me an hour to beat Shao Kahn when I know what to do, but the moves drop nonstop. So anyway, stressful night. I hope you enjoy it. I'll tell you this, when we play this again next week, we are absolutely not doing that. Maybe we will do more of Mythology Sub-Zero. Maybe we'll try Special Forces, or maybe even we'll try some of the busted, like really bootleg portable versions of Mortal Kombat that are in the collection. But I am not wasting my time on that stuff again. It's awful. Okay. Now, support. Did we hit a goal tonight? Sadly, no. If you can believe it, we hit a goal every single stream this week except this one. Mortal Kombat has hit the goal every time we played it so far. I don't know why it didn't tonight. Maybe because it was another attempt to beat Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Although it's a different version, it's still the same game. So maybe that's what it was. Maybe people are liking it when it's more original content every time and it wasn't a redo. We still hit over $100. So I'm not going to sit here and complain in any way, shape, or form. Because I feel like I definitely still got support. Not hitting the goal, but I mean, we got a double goal earlier today. I'm not going to sit here and complain. But it is what it is. I do hope that when we play more Mortal Kombat next week, that we hit goals again. It might have just been because of what happened tonight, okay? Now, the only final thing that I'll say, insane amount of trolling in the Kick Chat tonight. I had to ban a whole bunch of people because there was no moderators around. It really sucked that it happened like that. I didn't want it to go down like that. Basically, what happened is last week, people were absolutely bothering me to add these new messages, these moral support messages. If you don't know, when you watch the stream on Kick, you earn channel points. I have the system set up that you can redeem the channel points for moral support highlight messages in the chat, but there's no text in them because trolls were finding a way around getting banned and using moral support to say things that were horrendous, like racist stuff, sexist stuff, doxing, saying things about me and my family, and you couldn't stop them. Even banned, they could still do it. So I had to turn these off. So last week, people begged me and said, please turn them on. Please turn them on again. The bug is fixed. Okay. I turned them on. For 2.5 days, no one supported me on Kick. That's not an exaggeration. I think in 2.5 days, I got like 2 subs and like 100 kicks. No one cared on Kick. I'm like, so let me get this straight. I went out of my way because you kept begging me for this. I gave this feature to you, and then you decided to stop supporting me. So forget it. And I turned it off. So now everyone freaked out. Like, no. What it is, you're a bunch of trolls. Most of the Kick Chat, let's be honest, is trolls. There's a few people who are fans, but outside of that, there's mostly trolls who sit there and say toxic stuff all stream. And I let it ride, but I'm a little too lenient over there, I think. And so people think that they could just behave however they want. All right. So this week, people said, well, we want them back again. And I said, well, I'll bring them back, but you got to support the channel. Maybe if we get a whole big rallying of support this week, maybe I'll bring them back. And so we were midweek through, and I said, it still hasn't happened. So then people were like, well, then set up a goal. Set up a goal of support. And if we hit the goal, then we'll get these messages back. Okay. 125 subs in 3 days. Oh, that's too many. Oh, that's too many. I said, set up a goal. I set you up a goal. So as of yesterday, we had, I think, like 16 subs, something like that, and we had 109 to go. But what happened was the goal disappeared because I set it up for the wrong date. So this morning, the goal had disappeared. I was like, oh shit, it was supposed to be running till the end of Friday. So I reset the goal and I actually did everyone a solid. I said, I'm going to go down to just 75. You still needed to do 109 subs. I'll go to 75. We'll actually completely shrink the goal. So I did that. Earlier today, someone did 25 subs on the first stream. So now it's only 50 to go. And we could have done it tonight. What happens is tonight, people come to the chat. It's all the trolls. And all they're doing is spamming the chat saying, oh, he's not giving us the messages. And, you know, again, I'm playing a busted version of Mortal Kombat. And they are literally sitting there trolling, spamming hundreds of messages a second. Now, the funny part is what they don't realize is that I'm making money off of that. I'm in the KCIP program. So all those idiots who sat there spamming all night paid me. So I let it go. But I told them at the end of the night, it's this simple. Since you misbehaved and you're acting like children, don't ever ask me for this stuff ever again. I'm not going to give it to you. So there you go. You know, maybe at some point in the future, there will be a rallying of support from positive people on Kick. And I'll be like, hey, okay, maybe I'll do it. I'll give you those messages. But the vast majority of people on there are definitely trolls and losers, you know, leftovers from Kino Casino who never left or got banned and come back with 400 sock accounts. So they're going to keep behaving like that, and I make money on it, so I'm not going to really do anything about it, but I'm certainly just not going to let them derail my stuff, so I'm just not going to care anymore. Every time that someone says, hey, can we get those highlighted messages back, I'm just going to ban the account. Then we don't have to listen to it anymore and have to waste my time on it, okay? So I'm sorry if you were in Kick Chat and you were like, what is going on? That was a wave of trolls that was definitely set in there to be disruptive, but it's all good. Overall, this week was great. You know, tons of support, tons of great progress in all the games, beating Silksong. What a great week, okay? So here's the deal, everyone. I'm off tomorrow. I wanted you to remember that. I do come back on Sunday. On Sunday, there will be a Level 1 podcast in the morning, and then we're going to have the premiere of The Outer Worlds 2. I'm very excited for this. I hope that it ends up being good, and people like it, and I like it, and we want to do a playthrough of it. If not, there's no risk, because guess what? It's on Game Pass. So if it sucks. We don't play it again. Let's see how it goes on Sunday and go from there. And then Sunday night will be the return of Tormented Souls 2, continuing on with classic survival horror. This week will be a mix between Pokemon, more Mortal Kombat Collection, more Tormented Souls 2, Outer Worlds 2, American Truck Sim, and then later in the week, Call of Duty Black Ops 7 premieres. Thank you all. Have a great, safe Saturday. I'll see you all on Sunday. Good night and peace out.